Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and it brings me so much joy that I'm sitting in front of you saying finally we are back at Ibrox, ladies and gentlemen, as we're here to talk about the first true home game of the season as Rangers host Dundee. And there is a hell of a lot actually in that, ladies and gentlemen, as I am very excited about being back home tomorrow. Now, it is a bit sickening it took to almost October, but again, some of the estimates and some of the rumours and all that, this is an absolute godsend that it's came up the road and we're right here within 24 hours away be back home. There's an opportunity to inject some real life into what has been a lifeless season for Rangers, but more on that as we get to the Rangers side of today's video, because we're not only going to speak about that, but the word identity is going to be very important, not only for the Rangers side of today's video, but also for the opposition. So strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't mind hitting that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Or if you enjoy the channel or enjoy the chat, please start hitting the subscribe button as we're trying to reach 70k before the end of this season. But last week, about 7 days ago, me and Dee sat here and discussed Dundee United. Well, now it's time to take about 50 steps away from Dundee United, away from climate change, and speak about Dundee, who at my current time of recording are sitting 6th in the All League, a position they fought so hard for last season to get in amongst it, and saying they're 6th would probably make a lot of Dundee fans absolutely delighted. But a lot like what we discussed last week when looking at Dundee United, it could actually be a hell of a lot better for Dundee, as they were on a phenomenal undefeated run until one key incident and one key transfer maybe has just changed the entire trajectory of this football club. Now, I know that was a bit of a mumbling of that word, and no, I didn't feel like it was a smooth dismount. But we continue, ladies and gentlemen, as we're here to talk about a Dundee side that again sits 6th, but their undefeated run came crumbling, and so possibly did their identity. And I say that because in the late hours of the transfer deadline day, when we were singing the name of Barami, Dundee fans were absolutely scoffing their hearts out at the fact that they had just lost Luke McCowan to Celtic, their talisman, their captain, and for me, their best player, because up to the moment he left the football club, they were undefeated in all competitions so far that season, with 9 games in total. Now, 3 of them were in the Scottish Cup group stages early on in the season against the likes of Annan and Bonnie Ridge Rose. The latter, by the way, they put 7 by in a fantastic game where everyone seemed to score, everyone seemed to play well. But I know that's not exactly the highest level, people will scoff at it, but what it did, ladies and gentlemen, is a couple of wee easy wins to start off, or deserved wins, you should say. It gave them a platform to build for. They felt confident at the start of the season, and it gave them the platform to go and do what they'd done that season, gone on that fantastic run. Now, again, they weren't exactly at their greatest versus Dundee United in the opening day, but again, they'd done enough to battle back. They showed that resiliency, and they grabbed a point thanks to Luke McCowan scoring a late penalty. They then went on to face Hearts, who again were the media darlings before a ball was kicked. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. Well, Dundee pulled their scants down and battered them 3-1 in a game that not only Luke McCowan grabbed an assist in and was brilliant in, but also scored yet another late penalty in. You can sort of see where I'm going here, but follow me for the next couple minutes as we really paint this one out, as they then went to Easter Road, where again they maybe weren't at their best on that day. They weren't as good as they were versus Hearts, but do you know what they showed? Resiliency again, fighting back and getting that 2-2 draw, showing they can still score goals. And that was backed up the following week versus St Mirren, the Mavericks of Scottish football that can look so dangerous when it clicks but painfully average when it doesn't. And that was a back and forth type game as well, where again Dundee showed that resiliency, scored another 2 goals and came away with the points, protecting that undefeated run. Another cup scudding as well, scoring another 6 goals. And if I was sitting talking about this team right here, I'd be talking about a team that's shown resiliency, that's scoring goals for fun, that's scored in every game and continue to fight, and have scored several late goals to grab points and grab 3 points away from the opposition. But that's no who we're talking about, as there's a very important piece knocked off the board, as we've already mentioned, as Luke McCowan went and joined Celtic on transfer deadline day, again losing such an important piece. And if you think I'm just talking smoke and I'm just bumming up the player here or anything, look at their next result, because what followed the exit of Luke McCowan saw the exit of their undefeated run, if you get me, as they were put to the sword by who? None other than Ross County, who we've seen with our own eyes. We know they're not up to too much this season. We know they struggle in several areas. Well, the most damning statement I can say about the team that we are playing tomorrow is they were not only beat by Ross County, but they were deservedly beat as they looked lost in the game, and dare I say, uninspired. And that for me is such an important talking point regarding this game, because they are a completely different side. I mean, we've already broke it down right here, but if you actually look into the games and look at the performances, maybe never got the assist versus Hibs, but who started the move? This man was so vital to their entire run to start this season off, that now that he's no there, the only game that we can actually break down was the loss to Ross County, where again they were pretty damn poor in my personal opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of Dundee side turns up tomorrow at Ibrox, with the crowd being there. For me, they've lost their talisman, they've lost their best player, they've lost their leader, and they're a side that's just lost their undefeated run. That right there is something you should be pinning up on a board and saying, right, we're going to take the excitement, we're going to take the positivity being at Ibrox versus a team that is licking their wounds clearly, and go out there and run all over them. That would be great to see. A ruthless Rangers side versus a limping Dundee side, lost, not knowing who they are, what they can be, who their next guy actually is. Now, it's not to say they're a few dangerous pieces or anything, because I think Lyle Cameron is definitely one for the future. We've spoke about him before as well. He is a very good player. You've also got the likes of Simon Murray, who's hurt us in the past with his will and running, the non-stop energy, the workhorse attitude that this man's got seems to stick in our paw every time we played the likes of Ross County in previous years. So there is danger there. There is still good players, but this is a team that doesn't know who they are. They're coming in with confusion, trying to figure stuff out. That should be a red flag right in front of these Rangers players to go out there and run all over them and grab the game early in it, score a couple goals and put this Dundee side away. That's the way I look at this game, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way I look at the very impressive Dundee side, who now look a little bit lost and leaderless. You take that to Ibrox with what's supposed to be there, you put out a statement performance, because last week was just about getting the 3 points after the embarrassment of the Old Firm. Well, now we need to build upon that, and for me, this is a perfect opportunity and a chance to go ahead and do that. Now, will we? That always remains to be seen. That's a lot in what not only the players have, but what Phil Clement actually allows us to go out and play regarding personnel. And that's going to take me to the Rangers side. But that's my thoughts on Dundee. So damn impressed with them to start the season off, as I was last year when I spoke them up. They still play pretty good football, you know what I mean? They get the ball down, they try to play football the right way. They're not exactly the part the bus, long ball style. But again, they've now lost the guy that was sort of ticking all the boxes and getting them from the defensive areas up to up front. So I'm not sure what we'll see for Dundee tomorrow, but I know Simon Murray will be leading the line, so our defenders will have to be on it, because you know that guy's only going to be seen like this or like this. Is he Disney? Stop running. So that's it for the Dundee perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time to get over to the Rangers end, because trust me, there's a lot to talk about. And as I said at the start of today's video, ladies and gentlemen, the word identity is the theme of the day. Not only for the Rangers end we're now going to speak about, but again for all the reasons we just discussed with Dundee losing their man, no knowing who they are. You could look at the Rangers end and genuinely make an argument we've lost what Tavernier was able to do for us. Lead by example, be the talisman, as he looks a shadow of himself so far this season. You could look at the likes of Sima, what a talent he could have been, scoring goals in the Champions League now. Well, he couldn't come up the road here again for us. You could talk about losing him, or for instance you could talk about what Clement's talked about, as he argued he's lost the likes and he's missing the likes of John Lundstrom. There's important linchpins in the Rangers team that aren't exactly firing or no longer here anymore. You could look at it that way. However, I want to go a wee bit deeper, because to me I feel like we've been carrying such a heavy bloody weight all damn season, and a lot of that's got to do with Ibrox as well, as that was a gut punch to every single one of us. Again, I'm not going to keep going on about it, but not only in terms of the league football, but the Champions League, the money that could have gone, the rebuild that could have finished, how much that's hurt us. We've been carrying that all day, or all season long, I should say, but some of that weight is now off, as again we are back home. That dark cloud that's been following has some beam of sunshine coming through right now, and for me, I can't help but be a little bit naive and a little bit biased here when I sit and say this tomorrow is the perfect opportunity for us to truly exercise some demons, because I want us to come out there strong. I want us to put this side away, and I want this to be a fresh start. at home for the first time this season, inject some positivity. And again, a lot of that has to go once again on Clement's shoulders, because there's a lot of excuses, as we've already talked about in previous videos, but he's got players now that can inject some life in it. You know what I mean? We've not only got Ibrox back, this man could release a starting 11 tomorrow that doesn't make Oyers go, what way? Actually, then, you know what I mean? He could release a starting 11 with the players that are there and are fit, that could get us all excited. Again, just truly underline that this is a perfect opportunity for a fresh start going in to the old season. And I'm looking at the likes of Igamane. Now, I know some people keep saying it's pronounced Igamane and everything like that, and that's fair if you want to shout me that in the comment section below. But all I'm saying is I've seen Clement several press conferences where he calls him Igamane, so I don't know what he's one for me, right? But the likes of Igamane has been another positive ray to come through that dark cloud, and I didn't want him to coddle us. I didn't want us to be overly cautious. Again, I want us to really look at tomorrow as a fresh start for everybody, and I would love to see him lead the line versus Rangers. I know he's young, I know it's still early on his career, but that's how you get people excited, because all the doom and gloomers and everything like talking about the team's crap, the team's this, it's a write-off. I get why you're saying this, and I'm not saying everything's going to be fixed right away, but if I'm looking you in the eyes right now and saying a front four of Igamane, Cortez, Barami and Cherny, are you going to look me in the eyes and say that's crap or that's no exciting to think? For me, if I saw that starting 11, I'd be right up there and I'd be buzzing to actually hear it. Now again, it might be overly cautious with Cortez as he's just back from a serious injury, but even in that, go Igamane, go Cherny, go Barami on the left, and start the likes of Tom Lawrence. Now I know we're not exactly the biggest fan of Tom Lawrence, and I didn't trust him in the big games, but he showed last week what he's capable of doing when he can strut his stuff versus the likes of Dundee, versus the likes of Dundee United, versus the likes of Ross County. He's a very attack-minded player, and for me, that would still be a good attacking four to unleash, and again, just build that expectation up, because I keep saying, oh, the team's crap, it's this and this. No, there is excitement there. Clement, just Disney, play it, you know what I mean? And that's what I want to see going into tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I might be being a bit naive here or anything like that, but I feel like tomorrow could see us start to change things. Or if I see the likes of Dessers and Lawrence and McCausland and the same mind-numbing stuff we've seen year upon year or game after game, or mild or awful performance, I'll know what we've got in Clement. But again, something just feels in the air, and I can only hope we see some positive changes to again match the positivity of being back at home. Now, I would talk about Tavernier getting rotated out and maybe starting the likes of Stelling or giving Nare an opportunity, but Nare looks like he's sort of backing up Jeffy right now doing the left-hand side, and there's no point in talking about Stelling for Tavernier because Clement's made it clear he's not making that change. But again, the likes of Dundee at Ibrox, with the crowd being that, with the exciting, talented players we have, might bring Tavernier back out from his actual shell. You don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but that's how I feel. Tomorrow gives us the perfect opportunity to create a new identity for ourselves and give the fans something fresh to get behind, because we know now, we all know what was previously getting played. Can he take us to where we want to go? But there's pieces there to rotate and bring in, and that is what I want to see tomorrow, being the start of that new identity, the fresh ideas, the fresh players, no beat down by previous failures. It's all there within his fingertips. I just hope he puts the team first, puts the fans first, and gives us something to be excited about. I didn't want to be winded tomorrow when I see the starting 11. No, I know at Ibrox for the first time, but that's my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I'd also maybe even like to see Raskin start maybe ahead of Diamande, give him a wee bit of rest with obviously European football coming up there. Raskin's looked a bit sharp when he's come in. Now, I don't think Clement likes Raskin very much, but again, maybe a Raskin and Barron, that's pace and that in the middle of the park versus the likes of Dundee. It could be an option in there, but again, that's where I'm going. That's my excitement, and I'm just excited to be home tomorrow. Everything else remains the exact same as it previously was regarding injuries. No fresh injuries, no fresh concerns or anything. Again, Danilo is out for the next couple of weeks. We did speak about that in our previous video, or the previous one before that. That's the only dampener, but again, where that is a blow, it's an opportunity for Igamane to jump the queue and go in and play. And for me, everything I've seen, he's impressed. So stop coddling, stop being overly cautious, let the laddie play. And that goes for a lot of the other attackers as well, ladies and gentlemen. The likes of Barame, the likes of Czerny. At home versus Dundee is where you build confidence, you build connection. Go out there, put out a good performance, play your best attacking players, hopefully score a few goals, and then go to European football and test yourself at a higher level. That's got to be the blueprint. That's got to be our new identity, and that's why I wanted to talk about it right in today's video. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below. Do you want to see some of the fresh players or new players getting brought in there, or do you think you should still play Dessers as he's probably going to be playing in European football? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below. I'll be very curious to hear it. And as always, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, sorry, I nearly forgot to do my prediction. I nearly forgot to do the prediction. These greys are getting out of control. But my prediction is Rangers 3, Dundee nothing. I'm going for it. High. Again, I'm being biased. I know how poor we've been this season. It's a fresh start. Please, Rangers, please. The moral. But I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.